Howdy folks, it's Tall Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 where we are completing the Balkans push trip today. We have 3 legs left, 14, 15, 16. 14 is the longest one, but it's not going to matter for you when I edit it down. And then we have a short one and then a regular length one. So without further ado, let's get going. If you have no idea what's going on, watch a previous 4 components, parts, modules, whatever you want to call it. Alright, let's get flaps down a couple here because it's a short grass runway, and let's get our bearings again. It's been several days since I've completed the previous legs on this because I did that freaking flyer achievement more than once. I won't admit all of the work that went into that, so I have to regain my composure. Where are we going? We're going to Lima Jima Sima Oscar. Sierra Oscar, and where is that on the map? It's a long ways. Oh, all the way out to the islands. So we're going to fly to the other coast and down the coast and over some mountains to there. Well, that's easy peasy. So altitude, what do we want? I think, well, we got some there. There's a valley there, but let's go 5 grand, and then as soon as we cross, we can start coming down a long descent. Alrighty, so let's keep it like that. There we go. I don't even think we need to touch this one right now. I think we can just leave it the way it is, but we're going to touch it anyway, so we can see where we're going. Alrighty, whoa, wrong presets. I'm on a different plane today. 5 grand, I think I said. Let's do heading bug here in case, and then 5, not 13 grand. Oh, let's do 6 grand. That just feels, no, 5 grand, we can go faster. 6 grand, we go faster? I don't know, let's do 5 grand. Alright, that's it. Anything else, I'm overthinking it. So, here we go. Parking brake off. Fuel, gun it. Oh my gosh, this is a light plane. I'm so used to flying that Cessna jet. Oh my goodness. That was a lot of hours in a jet. So let's go back to GA here. Oh boy, yeah, see, we're kind of off the runway already. It's funny how they do that. Alright, can we take off yet? We're crossing roads. They seriously just put us in the middle. Brakes to stop the wheels. And flaps up. And I guess we'll hand fly for a minute before we do autopilot. Just because, why not? And then we'll have plenty of sightseeing, and I'll read about stuff once we get going here. Alright, there we go. Let's overshoot a little bit so that we can connect with the line again. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Let's make sure we don't run into a mountain while we're at it. And let's leave flight director. Let's do heading first for a second. Autopilot, heading, and then nav, and then vertical speed. What? 400 feet per minute? Something like that. Flaps are in, right? Yep. Okie dokie. I know Copilot. I know what's going on. And we should be turning any second. There we go. Okay, made me nervous for a second there. Oh. Turn? Yeah? Yeah? Turn? You are following nav, right? Right? Do I need to do the heading bug to get us over there? Let's do heading to get us over there first. Oh no, it is doing it. It's just being very subtle. Okie dokie, back to nav it is. Are we going to clear these hills? Googly frickin' moogly. Let's nose up super quick. Have ultimate climb rate, which we're not doing. We're going a little fast. There we go. We made it. Okay. Let's look behind us super fast. And then, whoa, look at that. I know he's telling me to get back on track because I'm not perfectly lined up. Nice valley. And look where we were in the world. Alright, the sun never moves apparently. Well, we barely cleared that, but we did. Let's take a screenshot of that just in case I forget to take more screenshots. Alright, put the drone away. Let's read about what we're doing, where we're going. What are we doing? Lake Leaky. To the east of the airport, motorway 1 runs directly south. That's what we're going over right now. See over the nose. Before turning 90 degrees east, follow this road a short distance. It'll lead you to the shores of this thing, which is probably this right here, I assume on our left. And then take the highway interchange. It'll go beyond another reserve. Eventually cross paths with another road. Stay with the road as angles. Again, you can slow down and read these if you want to by hitting pause on your YouTube player. And you can follow along Google Maps too. Stay with the road as angles northeast. It'll soon start to bend. Further down the road, you'll come to the village of Oinafuita. And continue short through the Greek countryside. Reach another town with a roundabout at its center. So we'll try to get that in sightseeing if I remember. That's about 15 minutes out. Maybe 20 minutes out. The road will turn short distance. It'll be a Lake Marathonos. Okay. Go along the northern shore. Alrighty. Let's see if we can pick that up. Actually, let's not. Let's do it like this. Alright. So we're going there, and there's that. This can't be the lake it's talking about. Must be this one here. Must be Northern Shore. Yeah, it has to be that lake there. Alrighty, and then what? We're missing stuff here, I know. From the Northern Shore, head east along the edge of the dam, follow the road, and bring you to the named town. Okay. Follow up to the coast. Yep. Proceed the coastline. Yep. Fly over mountainsides and stuff. Past homes. Yep. From the Cape adjust. Yep. And then off in the distance will be channels and islands. And then navigate the coast. More shores. More islands. And then we're going to look for a huge airport. Not huge, but paved at least on an island. So that's going to take about an hour. I'm going to manage maps and systems and autopilot. You're just going to get a lot of sightseeing. And hours of sightseeing narrowed down. Look at that. We have a long ways to go. Holy moly. And then the next ones are short as we do some island hopping. Alrighty. Not complicated whatsoever. I know I didn't read every single thing, but that's a lot. I did not click that, did I? No. But that's a lot of reading. So you can just pause it and read if you want to. Follow along the maps. So always just enjoy the sightseeing with me. And I'll see ya in a little bit. Alright, just a mid-leg check-in with you here. I did go up to 7 because 7,000 in the Clearless Mountains, so let's come back down now. I guess we probably will go all the way down to 3,000, I would think, right? There's nothing left. That's scary. So let's go all the way down to 3,000. Vertical speed knows that thing down, but we'll do gradually. We'll do 400 feet per minute. Bring back throttles a little bit so we don't get in the red here. I'll keep an eye on that. I've been looking for the towns and the roundabouts and things. I don't think I caught them in sightseeing because we're kind of high to make out that detail. I just wanted to clear that mountain directly behind us. So I think we missed some of the details we were going to read about or that we read about. But again, because we were so high to clear terrain. So we're going to come down now, and then it should turn us along that coast right there. And then the island we're landing at, I believe, is that second island out there. And now we're turning. Let's go inside and have a peek what our passenger gets to see. Looking good. Then we're gonna head along the coast. Like I said, I believe it's that second island out there. No, the third island. How far are we going? No, the fourth island. Okay, I guess we have quite a ways to go yet. Quite a ways to go. Can we see where we're going? We can't even see where we're going because there's 1, 2, 3, and then maybe it's that one back there. Anyway, wrapping this thing up, final 3 legs. I really enjoy these flights, but to me they're a little long. I would rather see, like a dozen bush trips that are maybe 3 hours each instead of 3 bush trips that are 9 hours each. I know there's a 4th one now, but that Alaska one's pretty short. It's like 6 hours. So I'd rather see more bush trips that are shorter. Another seaside community in a bay. How wonderful it must be to be there, where you're protected by the natural terrain. I bet it's calm. Look at that beach down there, just at the window. Oh my gosh. Wow, I bet it's amazing to be there. How cool. Alright, destination is in sight. We're gonna just touch this island, and then on the other side of that bump is our runway. We're going to stay at this altitude until we pass this island, then we'll come down to 2,000 feet. I don't want to come down too low, not because of terrain, but because we won't be able to see the runway for too low. Look at that dense community right in that hillside. Wow. You live in the middle of nowhere, but your neighbors are on top of you, and you have 1,000 neighbors, but then you live in the middle of nowhere at the same time. I always find that amusing when I'm traveling in rural Minnesota, where you're in the middle of nowhere, then you come to a tiny town with dozens of houses packed right next to each other. You're right by your neighbors, but then a quarter mile away, middle of nowhere again. I always find that interesting. But anyway, I just wanted to give a 3/4 leg update. I'm really enjoying this, even though it's an hour and it's the longest leg of this bush trip. After doing that 11-hour thing, holy cow, it is quite nice. It does not seem long at all. Alrighty, let's head back up to open water. As soon as we get to the other island, we'll come down to 2 grand, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, just passing over the last island before we get to our destination up here. We are coming down to 2,000 feet as we speak. I'm not exactly sure where this is going to take us. So it's going to take us directly over it? Okay, so do I have to climb again and then nosedive? Is that the plan? We'll see when we get closer. We'll see what happens. I might actually have to, for some reason I thought it went around the edge here. But no, it's going to go right through. Okay, whatever. So we might actually have to climb back up again. We will see how it goes. Because if we were at 2,100 and we went over that and we almost hit it, we might need to make adjustments up here. Alright, once we get over the hill here, it shouldn't be too hard to find the airport. But it's going to be kind of a last minute thing, right? Because we have to crest this and then bam, we'll see the airport and we'll have to come down. So thankfully we were not going too fast. It's not like we're in a jet or anything. Well, if we were in a jet, we wouldn't approach it this way. This is kind of a silly approach. Given orientation of the runway, it should be out over here and straight in like that, but we'll let the computer, i.e. the autopilot, i.e. the GPS, i.e. the activity, do what it wants. We'll have the time to do it. Alright, pretty soon this is going to go over and want to change it. So let's do this to heading bug now. So we stay going straight across here. Instead of cutting through there, that'll make a nice, simpler approach. Then we can start descending now to our 1,500 feet. Wrong way. Let's go like this. And vertical speed down. Just a soft, easy. Let's do 200 feet per minute. Soft and easy, just like that. Get some good views here. Isn't that cool? Very nice. Lots of wind turbines everywhere. I'm so used to landing that jet that I have to recalibrate how I think. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love our shadow on the buildings too. Again, it's jittery, but we're getting 38, 40 frames per second. Nice. Let's give the ocean some love. And let's pay attention to what we're doing. We were 2 and 2, but then I looked out the window. And let's just realign here. I think this is going to be straight in approach, or straight wind approach. 2 and 2. There we go. What's 2 and 2 till I said something? Second set of flaps, right? Yep. That's all we're going to need. Whoa, now we floated because I was looking somewhere else. Alrighty, throttle's back now because we're kind of high. And we'll just coast in at this point, let ground effects take us, although they're not as severe now that I'm getting used to them. There we go. Very nice. And let it float down all on its own. Not that much. Come down. Where's that stall horn? Come on. There we go. Boom. Even centered and everything. It was. And lightly on the brakes. Nose wheel down gently. Flaps coming in, and let's get our credit. Way more time than it's supposed to take, but good enough. Let's do our penultimate leg. Alright, before we start this one, let's see where they put us on the runway. Yeah, we're like halfway down. We're going to back taxi this a little bit, because that's cutting kind of close. Let's see, flaps down while we're thinking about it. First of all, let's see what we're doing and where we're going, and then we'll back taxi. So we're headed to November X-ray. It's going to take us longer to back taxi than to fly there. So we're going from one island probably to the next island, more or less, right on the end. Right on the tip of the island along the water. Shouldn't be too bad to figure out. Let's read about it super quickly because there's not much to say. Take flight from the airport and head for the island's easternmost point, the rocky Fokiotripes coast. From there, you'll continue across the water in the same direction towards a cluster of islands in the Cyclades group. As you near them, make a path toward the center of the island to a western outcropping that overlooks the bay. Okie dokie. And then head southeast once more across the sea. Now again, north is down in this orientation for this bush trip. Across the sea, large as the Cyclades, sight your sights on the main port city in Naxos, which I have heard of before, I assume everybody has. Inland from the bay, besides a lake and nature preserve, stands the airport. Super easy peasy, lemon squeezing. Alright, let's back taxi this a little bit, just so we have enough runway. I mean, that might be enough to do that, but I don't want to stress out like last time when we went across the streets and everything. Alright, flaps are down. We just need one set for this now, probably. And let's get centered again. I recently relearned that having the lines between your legs centers you. So if we're between our legs like that, we're centered, see? There it is, centered. Almost. In between the legs, almost. Alright, here we go. Up we go. Step on those brakes. Flaps coming in. And let's, I don't know, hand fly out of here, shall we? And then we'll check out that island in a moment, or the community behind us in a moment from the air. Actually, can we do it right now while we're hand flying without crashing or anything? There we go. Look at that. Alright, let's hop inside before we overshoot like we did. Alright, here we go. Let's, what do we want to fly at? Well, let's fly at 3 grand. There's 1, 2, 3. And let's do heading bug, flight director, autopilot, heading bug. Thank you. Then over to nav and vertical speed up. The reason why we do the heading bug before we do nav is because it seems to couple to the nav better. Maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know, but I've had experience where if you go right to nav, it doesn't work. But if you do heading bug first and then nav, it does work. I don't know. I just do it that way. We'll do a gentle climb, so we're going faster than optimum climb rate, but that's okay. We don't have to worry about like tons of fuel usage and stuff. I better repair and refuel before I find a lake though, shouldn't I? Okay, there we go. Just like before, if I keep talking, then I'm overdoing it. So let's just go and fly and see in a couple minutes only for this one. Probably only a minute or two sightseeing at most. Alright, so I believe our runway is right here. But the computer's having a hard time following the lines. I assume it's going to turn us left any second now, and then it'll be obvious. So in fact, yep, since we know the runway orientation, let's actually use heading bug and get a little further so that we can have a nice approach and not have to, honestly, not have to do like a bush landing approach. But that's what we are doing as a bush trip. But it's not exactly like we're in the mountains. So we'll just come out here and have a nice, soft, gentle approach. See, if you look here, you've got this little cutout thing with the runway next to it. And that's the runway right there. So unless we're coming down now, we're at 3 grand. We can probably come down to 1,500 and still see. Actually, let's do 1,200. That feels good. Come down, and we might be a little bit aggressive given we're so close. Let's do that. Bring our throttles if we need to. Otherwise, everything's looking good. And it's kind of funny how your mind perceives time, because this trip, it's been 13 minutes, which is, I was going to take a little bit longer. It's been 13 minutes, and it feels exactly the same as the hour-long one. Isn't that weird how that works? Anyway, all right, there's our runway there. Let's get one more little blip of sightseeing, and then we'll land this plane. Alright, I tried slowing down during sightseeing and it didn't do a whole bunch of slowing down, so let's slow down more. Uh-oh. Hang on, I have autopilot stuck on, don't I? Okay, I'm like, I can't control my aircraft. Alrighty, so let's come on in now. I'm pretty sure we're beyond where we need to be, so we might have to backtrack. Nope, we're good, Alrighty, let's aim for this town, and then we'll have a short final here. Does it tell us what town this is? I'm sure it did. On the main port, city of Naxos. I assume that's actually Naxos then. Alright, cool. And then from the bay beside a lake and nature preserve. Okie dokie. We have to come down. Well, actually not too much. Yeah, we do. 1,700. I misread that as 1,200. So we got to get down. Aim for the city. And then we'll slow down as we get on final here. Alright, hopefully if we get this under control, we can look out the window to look at the city as we fly by, but we got to make sure we have good control of the aircraft, because at slow speeds and low altitude, you can screw up rather quickly. Alright, let's get up into our final position and get a set of flaps out in a moment, then we'll look at the city as we fly by. Let's do flaps now a little ahead, but that's okay. Point down for speed, a little bit of throttle, and let's level off here, side to side, a little more throttle. Peek out the window. There we go. And let's see how this goes. Once you look back out the front in a moment. Swimming pools, beaches, gorgeous mountains in the background. Never a bad view. Whoa, okay, here we go. Let's get back onto the correct way to approach. And we'll do a second set of flaps in a moment, like right now. And here we go. We're a little low, but I think we're okay. Let's look at the numbers, not that little hill just before the threshold, or we'll run right into it. We're a little slow yet, but that's okay. I don't know how long the runway is. Alright, we'll come right over the threshold here. And bring back power, and tease that stall horn as we level off. Where's that stall horn? Ground effects. Whoa. Where's that stall horn? Come on. Where are you? Oh well. Doesn't matter. There we go. We'll just touch down. And we're pretty much centered. A little left now. Nose wheel down on its own. Nose wheel on its own. There we go. Step on the brakes. Flaps coming in. And let's get credit for our flight. That took way more than 13 minutes. 19 minutes. Alrighty. Final leg. Here we go. Santorini, our final destination. Sierra Romeo. Sierra Roberto. 21 minutes, not too bad. Let's see what it looks like here. So it looks like we're going to go south, over a bunch of water, go around an island, probably go over the mountains, which is fine. So we'll sit about $3,000 for that. And then we'll land. Looks like we have a nice long coastal approach. Very straightforward, and I don't see why we wouldn't get the achievement. We haven't done anything weird. And it worked last time. So, okay, let's get autopilot set to $3,000. There we go, and heading bug set as well. And let's see where we are on the runway. We're right where we stopped because we didn't reload it. So we'll do a little bit of back taxi again. Alrighty, fine, here we go. Let's back taxi and then we'll read about it. Can we read about it as we back taxi, do you think? That might be kind of dangerous, but we'll try. As you depart from the island, no, as you depart from Naxos, the last leg heads south across the water towards a hilly island with cliffs that plunge down to the sea. We'll look forward to seeing that. Plunging cliffs. From the northern coast, you'll find your way around the island hills of the outcropping. Soon you'll pass the bluffs that make up the Cape of Acrofanarii. Fanarii. Hey, I had a buddy in my Minecraft life named Fanarii, but it had two eyes with an apostrophe. Again, make your way to the southernmost tip of the island, to the Cape. And in the distance, you'll just see a small circular archipelago. Oh my gosh, in the southern Aegean Sea, a cluster of islands formed by the volcanic remnants. I'm trying to taxi at the same time I read. At the site of one of the most largest eruptions recorded in history. Make your way toward the northern coast of the largest island. And then you should arrive over a relatively flat coastline. This is the island of Santorini. Follow it to the southeast. Around halfway down the eastern coast is your final airport. Not a bad place to finish up after a long coastal tour. That is true. It's going to be way simpler than the Nevada one. So far, the Nevada trip has been the most difficult. In my mind, I assumed, oh, it's the first one listed, it'll be the easiest. But no, that was very difficult. Not only because you couldn't use GPS and stuff, but because because of having to read this and follow every single little thing, and then we got lost for like 3 hours. So anyway, let's get going on this one, and we'll finish up. So here we go. Let's get going. Parking brake off, and away we go. Parking brake engaged. What? Okay. Never mind. Anything else to say while we take off here? Nope. We'll just take off and fly our final leg. And lift off. There we go. Stop those wheels with the brakes. And flaps coming in. Alright, let's engage autopilot immediately this time. Flight director on. autopilot to heading, and then nav is going to go S-curve there. And vertical speed, well, let's do 400 feet per minute, just because we can. You're supposed to base your climb rate based on your speed, right? Optimum climb IS, but I just do it like this because I do. All right, that's it. Sightseeing. Oh wait, do we even read about this stuff? Yeah, we did. I can't remember because this is like 4 hours later in real life. I had to go do stuff, and now I'm like half asleep. I'm gonna quick finish this while I have a little bit of awakeness left in me. Alright, I would assume that's our destination, our final destination. We curved over that city there in that bay, and sure looks like it to me. Even though it's down the long coast, we're actually looking at it from over here, like this is how we're looking at it. So it's along this long coast, which you see here. Really tricky with these islands to completely judge perspective. I noticed that on the couple legs ago too. The perspective is really difficult. Anyway, looking good. Oh, there's another wind turbine. We are pretty darn close here. So just a couple more minutes and we'll be landing, hopefully getting our achievement. And that would actually mean we only have 2 achievements left to get that are within our control. We have the Patagonia bush trip, and then we have the Jack of all planes, where you fly every plane 300 miles. I have a strategy for that to make sure those actually count, because we have actually done some of those before, but they didn't count, and I know why. We just have to have a strategy to make sure they count, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Then other than those 2 achievements, the rest of them are just like time, like fly for 1,000 hours, do rain for 50, taxi for 100 miles, just stuff you get just from being in the sim. Nothing really to like intentionally set out and do. So only 2 more intentional achievements, although they're both biggies. But I'm excited about that. So here we are. Looks like we're coming in for a pretty much straight in final, a little offset perhaps. In fact, let's change the heading bug now. Because we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way, heading. I got to roll back out. Whoop, not like that. Not that kind of roll. Mouse wheel that out like that. There we go. Because the GPS track takes us over all of this. But we're just going to line up like this and do it. Same difference, doesn't matter. So another 40 seconds of sightseeing or so, and then we're going to land an airplane. Alright, so much sightseeing, it really screwed us up, which I was kind of afraid of, but that's okay. It's an easy final approach, much easier than a Nevada trip, which I was worried about the Patagonia bush trip being the most difficult, but now that I know I assume there's GPS on that one too, so it's going to be more difficult than this one because of the area, but it's probably still going to be easier than a Nevada one, so that's good. So let's come on down here. Keep our speed up though, we're not worried about slowing down quite yet. And then we will land, at least I assume this is our destination. It sure looks like it. That'd be funny if I landed on the wrong island for the last time. Wow, that looks gorgeous. Gorgeous. I want to say, I wonder what this looks like in real life, because, you know, this is a sim, but this is probably exactly what it looks like in real life. Oh gosh, it's going to do this thing. Let's fix that arrow. There we go. You can easily tell it's a form of volcano. In fact, maybe we'll come back here and fly over it, just do a VFR trip of this island or something. I don't know, but today we're going to land the plane. It says we're coming in high, but we'll still maintain the same descent rate. And let's get in there. Gorgeous views, gorgeous views. The water too, look at those waves. Just the perfect amount of waves where it's not totally smooth. Because they do have a little bit of wind simulated, but it's been the same time of day for all however many hours. I wonder if I'm going to be able to add up my time like last time. So this is interesting yet challenging, is I kind of want to keep going to the left and rising because of the rising train here, but as you can see we have plenty of space. We're not anywhere near those cliffs, but because I see it out of the right side of my eye, I want to keep moving left. Do you see that? Isn't that fascinating? Really cool. I was watching a video on bush flying, real life bush flying in the mountains in Alaska, and how so many people think the mountains are like within feet of hitting the tips of your wings, but they're actually miles away. That's kind of what this reminds me of on a much, much smaller scale, of course. But I really feel like we're going to hit that, but we're quite a ways away. Anyway, here we go. Let's actually look out the window. We have to bleed off a bunch of speed. Too busy messing around. So our final approach is not going to be our best approach at all. Hopefully we don't need to do a go around. Of course, you would have decided that by now. You would decide now to do a go around. And first set of flaps, we're just going to land with one flap really fast. Holy cow. See what happens when you're looking around and sightseeing on final approach. A lot of ground effect because we're going so dang fast. More flaps. Oh, 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 oh. This is the worst landing of the entire trip. All because I was looking at the city. Oh my gosh. Isn't that how it goes? Our final landing is the worst of the entire trip. Let's get centered now that we know how to center ourselves. There we go. All right. Final credit. And do we get our achievement? Did I hear the achievement pop? I didn't see anything. All my achievements lately, I don't hear them or see them. I just want to go check that they're there. Where are you, achievement? Oh boy. Where are you? Are you there? Which one? There it is. Complete the Balkans bush trip. Okay, so I'm not getting sounds or pop-ups, but it's there. We got the achievement, and now there are 46 bush trips. So we really only need to do the Patagonia one, and that should have done the completionist achievement, but that might be messed up too. So 96 or 4% each. So it's quite possible when we complete the Patagonia that this will trigger too, even though this is going haywire up here. I'm curious about that, but I don't have my hopes up. I don't expect that to work. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. We're going to sneak in a different type of flight or two, and then we'll go to the Patagonia bush trip and keep knocking these achievements out, and then come up with other ideas for flights. I've really been enjoying these achievements. It's after flight simming for 20 some years of just coming up with my own stuff for every single flight. It's really neat to have ideas like this. Like, I wouldn't stick with like a 13-hour flight on my own in segments. So, well, I did do that one time, I guess I did, didn't I? Twice. I did an X-plane. We flew across the United States in the B-1900D, and then we did every single state. Remember the 50-state series? We took off and landed in each of the 50 states. So I guess those are kind of big projects. But otherwise, it's nice to have these achievements to give me stuff to do and ideas and things to work on. But we're almost done with them. Like I said, we just have one more bush trip, and then the Jack of all planes, which is 20 flights in itself. But the rest of these we just get just from using the sim, so I'm not really worried about that. Like we always land at a different airport. Time always accumulates. You get the idea. So anyway, that's it for me. Like, subscribe, leave a comment so we can play the YouTube algorithm game, and I'll see you for some regular flying and then some more bush trips very, very soon.